Hello everyone, the transporter here in the back with another Drive Club vid. This is Drive Club vid episode number 5 now, and this is something I like to call how to beat the Norwegian Lightweight Series. Now the Norwegian Lightweight Series is under the Legend segment of that Drive Club Tour, which I just completed by the way, and it didn't take that long actually. Now in this series, you're only given two cars. Being a lightweight series, you're given the BAC Mono and the Ariel Atom 500 V8. And if you're going to choose cars, I'll tell you right now, first and foremost, choose the Mono. Choose the Mono. The Mono is much more stable. It's faster, even though it doesn't have a lot of acceleration as the Atom V8. It grips better. It doesn't drift around corners as much, so you can just get the power down and just fly through any course as well, and beat records and be done with the Norwegian Lightweight Series there and done. Now, unfortunately, because of the Drive Club servers, the only way to unlock this car is if you're at club level 10. If you aren't at club level 10, you cannot choose the Mono. And if you haven't achieved this yet, it's because the servers were all whacked up during the launch time. They haven't been fixed fully yet, even though they have been improved over the time. But by this time, if you have achieved the way to get unlocking the Norwegian Lightweight Series event, you should already have the Ariel Atom 500 V8 in your garage. And if you do, you can compete in this event. But the thing is that the Ariel Atom 500 V8 is the most challenging car in this game. So this isn't so much how to beat this is so much how to beat the series, but more or less how to drive the Atom 500 V8 without rage quitting it or just throwing in a towel and giving your copy back to whatever GameStop or Sony or something like that. But anyway, this is more like how to drive the car, because it is tricky. It drifts around a lot, even though it has a lot of acceleration, and it is sort of grippy. The car just like to drift around corners, and if you're not careful, you just end up spinning out around every corner every time and just restarting over and over again till your thumbs get sore or you just get annoyed. So without further ado, let's hop in and see what we can do. This first race here is called Central 10 Reverse. It's basically racing around the ice caps and all that. But now, an important tip when driving the Atom is manage your braking, because the brakes in this car are very important. Because if you brake too much, you just got sprint. See, that guy there just spun out because he's slammed the brakes too hard. Now don't apply too much pressure on the brakes, especially in corners like these. You just start spinning out and it end up being disastrous. And when you do start drifting, always remember this tip. When you steer in one direction steer in the other direction to the direction that you're turning to, and manage your throttle when you're drifting. But and don't be afraid to just take each corner at a slower rate than you usually do, because this car will actually power through. And because this car has a lot of acceleration, it will power through the corners pretty well. It's actually one of the fastest accelerating cars in this game. So don't worry about taking the corners too slowly. You want to take the corners quickly, but don't worry about taking it too slowly. You'll be just fine when you go on the straights. And take your time when you're going around these laps. You don't have to be first on the very first lap. Because as I found out, it's better to be in second or third rather than in first, because you gain more fame and lead to a higher score. Now when you are in first, you'll obviously have more time to get a faster lap time. And those flags, as you can see, there are very important. They denote how difficult each corner is. And when you start drifting, just take your time, don't panic. Just manage your throttle and your steering as you power through. And that's pretty much all I need to say for here. Now you can watch the rest of these 4 laps that I did here with the Atom. And as you can see, it's not really that tricky. It is a tricky car, but it's not really that difficult to just get through this thing. It'll take me 4 tries though, but not like 10 tries. That'll be like insane. I just have to learn how to just handle the car well. So without further ado, you can watch the rest of this bit. I'll stop talking now, and I'll come back with the next bit when we're going to the racetrack. Alright, this next one here is called Single Player Raceway, and this is the third variation of that track where you get an extra back straight and some extra corners. Now, you're not aided by those handy dandy colored flags, but you do have some corner markers. But since this is a circuit, I mean, what I'll do is I'll go corner by corner and tell you what you should apply when driving the Atom. So here's the back straight here. This is the difference between the first and the second or third, whatever. This is the back straight. Now, in this corner here, it's best that you lift off after that third corner. Start turning in. Follow this loud. Then brake there. Control the drift there. There you go. And then here, you got to brake. You have to brake sharp here. Be careful. Be careful. Drift in a bit. Lift off here. Don't worry if you hit the grass. It's all about managing your pace there. And if you come off the grass quickly, you won't be charged with the off-road penalty. And that's pretty much it there. It's always the basics. As usual, don't you do more management of the brakes and the steering in the Atom. But for the most part, that's pretty much how you beat the Norwegian Lightweight Series. And in the beginning of this race, if in this car you immediately get first place if you're careful. But if you don't, always stay behind your opponent, because you'll drift by them. And when they brake right after them, because then you get you reach the corner faster than they do. So that's basically it. You can watch these 4 laps here while I attempt to get around this track 4 times in the Atom 500 V8. If you like this vid, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I need more subscribers on this channel to build my wrap up again, my last one. And I'll be doing more Drive Club videos like this in the near future. So see you again.